Stump the board time.
So we are now in the open mic session, the final session of the meeting.
Front microphone.
Owen DeLong, Akamai, ARIN AC. As I understand the new NOMCOM rules, you have a potential, well, potential is the wrong word, a possible deadly embrace.
Okay.
I believe you still preserve the requirement of N+1, where N is the number of open slots.
No. Also, I will ask you to pull it up because I want to pull it up because my memory not as good. So let's not guess.
So we changed that requirement, and the actual text is, I'm bringing it up now, sorry.
Or if Susan
Yeah.
says.
Actually, it's on Susan's slide, but I was bringing up the actual charter. So the NOMCOM charter has the language at the bottom, which says, the NOMCOM shall provide, I'm looking for it.
It'll be a bit of a race here to see the.
If you can bring up her slides, that's faster. Okay. There we go.
Oh.
Back. Okay.
Ah, there we go.
Okay,
Okay.
there it is. The number of candidates shall be a minimum of one non-incumbent
Okay.
candidate
So you
and a
don't have-
maximum of 5.
Right. So you don't have the deadlock problem, but you do have the potential, at least theoretically, that if the entire board quits, you have a maximum slate of N-1. This seems bad to me.
Yes, but that would be the least of the problems if the entire board quit.
There does come to those cases where you can't cover every corner case, and there are some more general conditions where the board and Virginia bylaws, non-stock laws deal with those exceptionally. Yes, if the entire board quit, or we all silly booked ourselves on the same flight, and it was time. Pardon? If what?
I said that's one way to quit.
That's one way to quit in more ways than one. Rear microphone.
Hi, Louis Lee, Google Fiber, ASO Address Council, and this is Louis' hat this week. Two quick comments, if I may. I'm happy for you to raise my registration fees as long as IT development continues to accelerate, and I lament the lack of a services document.
It's then, well, we appreciate that, and I think we always try and keep fees manageable, and kind of go to the earlier point, just because we may expand staffing or resources, our first move is not to go and let's just raise the fees if we can find other areas where those resources can be saved, or if it's a shorter term venture, and that's why we have reserves, because we do try and also keep the fees as stable as possible, because we know that especially in some organizations, once an amount's approved or budgeted for, it's very easy to keep that invoice moving. If it changes, sometimes even $5, that can cause some people a lot of grief. So that's kind of how we see it when it comes to the fees. And sorry, the second one was the services document. As noted, that is something we hope to solve for you. Rear microphone.
Kevin Bloomberg, The Wire. Thank you for not sticking us in a gateway city that we keep going to over and over again. Having this in New Orleans, while I didn't get to venture out much, I really appreciate not being stuck in a brick sort of city. That being said, even more important to that, this is probably one of the most well-run meetings, and the ARIN meetings have always been well-run, so kudos to all of you for that.
To Susan, yes.
During the financial update, I made a comment about the grants. I would prefer that ARIN only provide grants for things that directly benefit the running of ARIN. I don't want to see money going out to tangential internet-related things, and I don't believe that you've done that in the past, but I know that you've now got this document, and I'm sure you're going to get tons of people submitting to it, but I would rather have my funds as a member go towards all of the tasks that ARIN does have, and there's lots of other companies and organizations that fund things. I don't think ARIN should be in the business of that, and I don't believe you have been, but now that you've set up that web page, I'm just reiterating I prefer you
So
weren't.
to let you know, you need not worry. We didn't need the document for people to send us requests. That was never a problem. We've always put a lens through that of how does this impact our mission? Not that you said operations, but I just tweaking.
Yeah.
It was like, how does this help the mission? My third point is on this, or anything else been discussed, by the way. We try our best to go on that way, but if you have views on someone raises, please approach a microphone. So if you have a view on this, please raise, such as...
Just to clarify what you're thinking about this is, let's say hypothetically that somebody approached ARIN for a grant to do training on internet resource related issues within the ARIN region. That's not assisting ARIN, but that's assisting the membership, and it's like clearly sort of
So a project that directly benefits the running of, I'll give you an example. I would like to do something that impacts the IRR and really helps out the ARIN community by dealing with the IRR, which is part of the sort of the service mission of ARIN. I could see that. I can't see something where there's a couple steps off the general internet community. If the charter includes generics like that, the general internet community kind of worries me, because I've seen where that can
And
go.
what about giving money to other internet organizations that already have their own membership or direct fee or donation solicitation paths available, like NANOG, for instance?
I'd be very leery of grants that, in the case of NANOG, I believe that was repaid, so there was a different, I guess you took a risk, but it wasn't a permanent, it was a more loan, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
NANOG's a bad example.
Yeah, but-
IETF, ISOC.
I believe that we are the wrong organization to be funding the rest of the internet, even if it's in our region.
John.
Okay, so there's some items that we fund automatically every year because it's been deemed that it's necessary for us to do our job. Now, actually, some of those you just said we shouldn't be funding, so I'm going to give you an idea. We give money to ITU, okay? Now, I don't think I can show a member benefit for that, but it turns out you pretty much have to give money to ITU to be involved in certain processes and have a seat at the table. So we're an ITU member and we give them money every year. Actually, ISOC, we give money to be a member as well, so that we can be involved in their communications. So you get more if you're an actual member of the Internet Society. So we've downsized that membership, but we still have one. We give money to the CTU for the support that we do with them in the Caribbean. Our money helps their activities and helps the outreach that we do in the Caribbean. We give money to NANOG for the webcast support, because occasionally we rely on it to do meetings like public policy consultations, and it's nice to have it webcast, otherwise we couldn't use that venue. We've always done the NANOG webcast. We give money to the NRO because, well, the NRO has operating expenses, okay? And we give money to ICANN for the same reason. It's part of our contribution. Those standing items are actually part of that internet support item. So what's not there? Let's talk about what's not there. Someone says, I do great software that a lot of the internet uses to do this internet service, and I have a consortium of people working on this great software product, and it's a not-for-profit, and we need people to contribute and join. Name any layer of the stack. We've got someone who has a consortium that has software that wants ARIN to contribute. I don't know how many ARIN members use or don't use package X, but some people are like, this is essential. This is part of the core of the internet that you're funding. So that's an example of a lot of the requests we get. We also get requests to support seminars, conferences, meetings, and publications. Again, all of which may be internet goodness, but I don't know how many directly affect ARIN members. This line item of these types of activities is what's presently zero. And in years where our budget's particularly overflowing in revenue and underflowing in expense, then yes, I would consider bringing some to the board. We haven't had that in the last 2 years, and we don't expect it in the next 3.
So I guess I was being far more focused on the types of things. Memberships in organizations that you're required or that there's a necessity to was not where I was going. Memberships for the requirement of having that. The seminars, as you describe, I put that into marketing. John, I'm trying to be very specific about the grants that come out of the woodwork for please save the puppies. It's related to the internet, but not really. That's the stuff, and I don't think you've ever done that, but I didn't know if that was what you were now looking at doing, being able to provide grants for small projects and things like that on the side.
The challenge we have is that they are related, often the ones we're getting are not Save the Puppies. They're save this software product that everyone's using, save this internet publication that everyone's relying on, save this internet conference that everyone loves, okay? So they are very much, the requests for getting are very much internet related. They're not internet number registry related.
And
per
some,
se.
to be fair, are help catalysts.
Right.
They're
So-
new projects that are looking to try and get off the ground as
So
well.
historically, our answer has been no. We have a process you can follow to get that answer of no. If we ever have a budget surplus,
That just became a
I'm
Kathy
sorry, am I
slide
being,
quote.
am I
like
being
there's no
too
tomorrow.
honest here? If we have a process whereby if we have a surplus, we anticipate a year where the costs are lower, and we have a potential surplus that would accrue to the reserves, I will prioritize whatever we get and give them to the board and try to fit them in. And they may say something other than no.
Okay, thank you, and I guess we can treat it as the IPv4 wait list then.
Thank you for your comment. If you'd like to make a comment on open microphone, please approach. You can approach on any topic you'd like, something we've discussed over the last few days or something that's coming to your head. Rear microphone.
Thank you. Craig Thompson, McCallwell Global. I'm a fellow, and the reason I'm here at ARIN 39 is because I'm a fellow. So I wanted to say thank you to the board for increasing that pool. I wanted to give thanks to Wendy for professional and timely and not overindulging in the communication process, but she sent just enough emails. I want to thank John Springer for being a great mentor and introducing me to people that I wouldn't have met otherwise. So thank you, John. In regards to the last comment that was made, I just had a thought that perhaps opening up the list of projects that people want to have funded to the community and just asking, are there any of these things you would like to vote on, and then take the votes of the community, John, into consideration when you look at your surplus and present them to the board. You might find out that the community really does use a magazine or a conference or a piece of software and might help you prioritize that. What I came up today to discuss was just an idea. Since I've been here, the whole topic has been around who is accuracy, and there is a who is and a who was, and it's just an idea that could either be a policy for ARIN, or someone may take it and run with it and make your own open source website or a commercial website, but just the whole idea of who may. When law enforcement or community organizations go to the trouble of looking up someone and finding them, either because of a legal case or subpoena or anything like that, they may or may not have a place to put that so that other people can benefit from their research. And if there were a who may database that was somewhat speculative, could also show a chain of research or custody where someone has gone through the problem of finding a particular NetBlock owner, then that would benefit the next person who comes along and tries to look up that same NetBlock owner. So it may be that because ARIN is already in the business of doing massive databases and providing this, that it could be a simple process perhaps to have a who may database that is not authoritative, is seen as transitional, and is seen as in some ways speculative, but if it's useful to you in your attempts to find a NetBlock owner, you can use it. I would welcome community feedback on that. Again, if ARIN is the best person to do it, great, or best organization to do it, great. If someone wanted to take it and do it themselves, great. But I think it's an idea that deserves to be looked at.
So presently, such a database might be very useful to people in the community. It wouldn't be useful to ARIN, per se, because we're not trying to discern that. We're generally asking the person who asserts that they are the rightful owner to show us documentation. And,
Sure.
and so literally whatever's in such wouldn't be useful. However, to the extent that the community wants to work on something like that, and ARIN has a coordinating role or a facilitating role we're all for it. I would recommend getting with others, trying to flesh that out in detail, and then submitting it as a suggestion. If you folks find it something that you think we should be running, we're happy to do it.
Yeah, and the idea there is that it may not help you immediately, but in a transitional aspect, it may end up helping you eventually. And if anyone in this room goes through a long process to find the owner of a net block and actually does find that organization or person who owns that net block, it would benefit everybody to know that and have that listed somewhere, even if it's not authoritative, or if the law enforcement agencies do the same thing. You know, they obviously would typically be seen as having more weight in their research, but everybody could benefit from it. So,
And if you find an owner is incorrect right now, you can actually contact us and say, I believe this one's not correct.
okay.
And we will initiate a resource review. We don't do a lot of them, but we do have resources to do them, particularly if we see it's a case where it looks like it's been a hijacking.
Yeah.
You can report that to us, and we'll follow NRPM Section 12 and look to see if it's fraudulently been used.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your comment. We will close the microphones if we don't see. No, please come forward. If we don't see people approaching after this current speaker, rear microphone.
Hi, Jason Hines from Internet Governance Caribbean. I'm a ARIN fellow, a repeat ARIN fellow as well. This has been a wonderful experience yet again. So I would like to thank all the people involved. It's great to meet with my fellows, meet the ARIN community, and everyone has been so helpful. So I'm saying thanks for that, and thanks for opening up the program. I've been trying to be a part of the community since I had attended a local meeting for ARIN 31 in 2013, and it was difficult to come as a fellow before you opened up the rules. So that was a really wonderful thing that you did, and then expressly for my Caribbean Fellowship group, which I got to meet persons face to face. Like, we're separated by water, even though we're one Caribbean region. We're separated by water. It's difficult to get further collaboration going across the sea, and to sometimes understand each other as well as we would like with email. And this opportunity to come together as a group and try to discuss how we can participate more in ARIN and in internet governance activities was especially beautiful and useful. So thanks very much for that as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. And not to harp on that, but like I said, we're glad that the changes benefited, and these changes are, while the board like to think we know the answer to everything, these feedback, a lot of these changes come from feedback that come from those very important meeting surveys that go out, from our hallway discussions at the microphone, our suggestion process. So please, if you see there are stuff in our processes or committees that you don't think are working or inhibiting what you think would be a valuable participation in these meetings, please let us know. We're always happy to consider it going forward. So with that said, if there's no other comments from the jabber, which is over there, I guess, the microphones, from my board colleagues or advisory, once, twice, 3 times, my open microphone is closed.